Hello, hello. Welcome back to Let's Talk Entertainment News. About 100 years too late, looks like the Oscars are finally adding some stunt categories. We're going to talk about that in just a moment on today's news. But before we get to that, I just want to take a moment to remind you that I do have a second channel at briankunkle on YouTube. Right now, I am primarily uploading poetry, so if you're into that, be sure to check that out. All right, then, yes, new Oscars category added for 2028 Academy Awards show for 2027 movies. Interestingly enough, I just watched Fall Guy yesterday on Amazon Prime, which I only resubscribed to because I needed to order a few things before the tariffs make ordering anything impractical. And in that movie, of course, about a stuntman, there was a line about, oh, and do you get awards at the Oscars for this? And you're like, oh, no. This doesn't actually fill that hole because it won't be for stuntmen, but it will be for stunt designers, which I assume is similar to choreographer. I'm not sure. After years of fans and industry members asking, the Academy Awards will officially add a new category to its show, beginning for the films released in 2027. The Board of Governors of the Academy of Motion Pictures and Sciences announced on Thursday that it would add a new award, Achievement in Stunt Design, beginning with the 100th Academy Awards, which takes place in 2028. This means that films released in 2027 will be eligible for the award. Since the early days of cinema, stunt design has been an integral part of filmmaking, says Academy CEO Bill Kramer and Academy President Janet Yang. We are proud to honor the innovative work of these technical and creative artists, and we congratulate them for their commitment and dedication to reaching the momentous occasion. And an award for stunt work in Hollywood has been something those in the industry and fans have been asking for decades. Specific eligibility rules for movies and how voting will work have yet to be confirmed, with the Academy noting that they will be formally announced in 2027 when the rules for the 100th show are revealed. Yeah, so recently there was a bit of a crisis of conscience or whatever over the use of AI in The Brutalist, which I thought was small potatoes. But this category, I think, could create some interesting questions, not necessarily with AI, but with digital effects, because so many cases now, of course, these stunts are not purely physical in nature. There's a lot of that going on in the computer. The category is design. Of course, some of these stunts would still have to go through a design process in the computer, beginning with the animatics and such, the previs, but then also moving on to the final creation. So where do you draw the line between who is the designer? How many people will be eligible to claim that role within the production? How do you draw the line between digital and real? How do you clarify that when you're making your submission in a way that the Academy understands that yes, you should be eligible? I think this is a category that's perhaps even more fraught with peril than sort of the argument beginning a couple of decades ago with like Andy Serkis in The Hobbit or in The Lord of the Rings, and then later with Andy Serkis again in Planet of the Apes about can you call a performance that is digitally covered over a performance that would be eligible for an acting award. And of course, they decided, no, you can't. But I think this is something similar like that. At what point do these stunts become unreal? And does it matter? I mean, is it really about that? Is it, again, still has to be designed, even if it's not carried out physically? So yeah, it's a very interesting question. I'm assuming that they probably thought long and hard about this, so I'm not suggesting that they have no idea what they're doing, but it'll be curious to find out how they clarify this, where they draw the lines moving forward for that 100th Oscar ceremony in a couple of years. So what do you think about this award? Is it too little too late? I think they should have added an award for stunt men at the same time, and women. I think that would have been a good idea. Perhaps an entire suite of stunt-related categories. I mean, they're probably going to be shown, not be shown on the air during the big ceremony. They're going to be done across the street the day before or whatever. But in either case, I'm glad that somebody's going to be finally honored for their work. I think that is always a good thing. But yeah, what do you think? Let us know in the comment section below, and I'll see you again next time.